the other thing that's kind of wonky for me when we talk about these things is you speak about it really clearly, like I mentioned at the beginning, which I think is really great, right? It's not clouded with any sort of like scientific talk or anything like that. You're just speaking about it really plainly. But it also makes it sound like like it's hard, Tim, because I wasn't doing these things in a conscious manner. I'm not sitting there being like, okay, I'm going to manipulate Stephanie and put her in this role. And then when I finally feel like, haha, I've got her and I've caught her in my trap now, I'm going to flip it around and make it this other thing, right?
So let me speak to that, Craig, because I think it's such an important piece. So two pieces. First of all is, for most people, codependency and shame is totally subconscious. So you're living out behaviors you're not even aware. You think your motives are this when you really don't know that the motivation is a deeper shame motivation. And so that's very important to understand. It's a subconscious thing that we tell ourselves often different messages about what's happening than what the truth really is about what's happening. But the second thing is, a shame-based person who's gone to the inferior, I'm less than, I'm gonna, their only way of trying to, so they could meet somebody super healthy, and their only way of knowing how to make connection is, I need to take care of your needs. I need to be there for you. I need to give of myself to help you. So they show up and give the person a coffee. They show up and can I help you with this? So their basic approach to relationships is, I have to give in order to get. And so I have to put myself in a servant role in order to get any attraction. So they're not necessarily looking for a narcissist, they're just looking for a relationship. And it could be with a healthy person, and they try to push them to the narcissist position because that's how they know how to relate. And the other person, depending on how healthy they are, they can fall into that and go, oh, this feels good to get all this attention. And before you know it, the relationship's set up inferior superior, because the codependent needed to set the other person as superior in order to feel they're doing it right. And that happens with so many people without them even realizing that they're doing it. Because to them, they're just being a kind person when they meet the person. Can I get you a coffee? Can I do this for you? Can I help you? Oh, if you have a need, just phone me. I'll be glad to come and help you. And so they set up a relationship early on where they're serving, never asking, and no boundaries, never saying no. And it seems like the right thing to do, and it seems so loving and considerate, but they don't see how they've set up the old style of relationship. Does that help?
It does help. I mean, like I said, it helps to understand it, but it also like sucks to still sit in the space of it. I remember when we first met, she needed new tires on her vehicle, and it was winter time. And I snuck her car away and I went and got tires for her and, surprised her with tires. And that to me was like just this act of love, because I loved her. And I like, we were in that honeymoon phase of our relationship where everything was going really well. And I just wanted to kind of surprise her with this really nice gift. And then you paint this other side. It's like the thing I was talking about earlier where we have another version. And I'm like, what part of me was trying to solidify the relationship in a sense? It's those parts of us that, like you said, it's the unconscious, it's the subconscious parts of us that are really in some ways acting, on our behalf. I don't know. Because I think about it too, Tim, where it's like, I can see how this relates to attachment. I can see how it relates to me wanting safety and security and trying to attach to somebody, right? Somebody that I love and somebody that I care about. But where do we find, I guess what I'm looking for is some clarity, and clarity is probably not the right word, right? But at what point do we, I guess what I'm asking is, when it comes to this type of behavior, is it something that, like, how is it? I'm getting caught up in my words here.
So
it seems like
can I take a crack at what I think you're getting at?
Yeah, that would be great.
What I emphasize to people all the time is that true love and codependency actually look the same on the surface
Okay.
initially, because you're giving. Both are giving, both are making sacrifices, both are concerned about the other person, both are wanting to establish connection with the other person. So love and codependency on the surface initially look the same. And that's why people get confused. Am I codependent? Is this love? So the difference is two things. Number one, the motivation. So codependency, I'm giving so that you'll like me. I'm giving so that you will love me back and meet my needs. Love has an unconditional. I'm giving because you have a need and I want to meet it. If you give nothing back, that's fine. So there's a different motivation. But the second part to that, where it begins to change, is codependency over time. You begin to see it because the relationship is always out of balance. My needs always matter less than yours. Whereas with true love, your needs matter just as much as mine. It's always going to end up balance. So I ask you how you're feeling this morning because I care, not because I now have to adjust my day and my moods to make sure you're happy, but that's a loving thing to do. And if you're having a bad day, I go, is there any way I can help? I don't then change my day and just run around trying to take care of you, because you got to fix that up yourself. That's your responsibility, but I can help some of it. So you begin to realize that on the surface, love and codependency look very much alike, but once you get deeper, you see different motivation. You see that the relationship is always out of balance as your needs versus their needs, and you begin to go, okay, that's not codependency isn't healthy love. It's distorted love.
We were meant to be.